Now, the severe weather is ramping up, and I do expect another upgrade. I will show you. But we do have a moderate section going in for Friday. This is going to be for winds, but also chances for significant severe for tornadoes. We have chances for strong tornadoes not only Friday after we get this Bowen feature, also for Saturday, which has grown as well. They did put that moderate section right where I showed you yesterday. And I still think we could see a high section right in the middle of that for Saturday. Now you can see for your chances for your tornadoes, we have the big 10%, we have the big 5%, and they're 2% as this goes all night long with the winds. This is going to be wind driven. So if we get a discrete cell in front of this Bowen feature, it will automatically turn into a strong tornado potential, everyone, because of the winds that's with it. It's very strong winds. Also, your chances for hail to come with the system as we go through Friday. But the winds is what the intensity is about. This is what the upgrade is about, is the winds that's coming with this Bowen feature as we go all the way until Friday night, and then it continues on all the way through the Ohio Valley as we go overnight Friday into Saturday. So that's what the upgrade is about. Now for Saturday, we also have the wind driven going down here for the moderate section, but also for tornadoes like I showed you yesterday, how it's just going to be flurrying storms all morning and all day for Saturday as it moves over for Sunday. Now, we still have our Sunday feature. Now, we can't see too far with HRRR just yet, so the update this afternoon, we will see more information. But you can see as we go by for 6 p.m. for tomorrow, this is our chances for tornadoes. You can see how it starts expanding with that Bowen feature, bringing all these winds with it still. That's why you have this wind outlook for all these very high winds, but it's bringing the chances for the tornadoes. It could be QLCS tornadoes that could be within this line of storms, but I think this will be mostly a damage and wind event. But once it pushes into the overnight hours, then you start getting this discrete cells, this group of storms in front of the Bowen feature where we still have very strong winds. And this is where it can spin up a chance for a tornado, everyone, as you go overnight into the early morning hours. I also think we're going to get a wind outlook over here from Minnesota and the Dakotas, not only for the snow that's coming down, but I'm seeing a lot of wind profiles as you come through the day for Friday for the upper Midwest. Very strong winds, just like what's coming through the Central Plains. But this is going to carry along all night long for Friday into the early morning hours, and then for Saturday as it brings all these storms further to north. Still your chances for big tornadoes, everyone. We even have chances for strong and long track tornadoes as we go through Saturday. So I'm going to show you the latest information real quick. I'm going to make the video as short as possible. I will see you this afternoon for the update. Please, if you do care about others, share this information. Let others know how this has upgraded. But we're going to see a lot of damage coming out of the winds and the tornadoes that do form. So real quick, who is at risk? So here's your tornado threat, even significant severe in this black hatched area. There's chances for strong tornadoes, EF2 or greater, that could form in that line of storms with that Bowen feature, or what forms in front of that line of storms as you go overnight Friday into the morning for Saturday. So far, here's your cities and states at risk for the tornado threat for Friday night going into Saturday morning. The winds, this is what your moderate section is for, but the whole area, remember with the curve now for the Bowen feature, chances for the derecho, I don't think it's going to last long enough to be classified as a derecho, but you still have the Bowen feature bringing all those strong winds, and you have the significant severe, still huge, bringing widespread 74 miles per hour wind gusts or greater, and you have the big 45% area, everyone. So here's your cities and states at risk for the damage and wind threat for Friday. And the hail threat, at least 2 inches in diameter and is significant severe in this black hatched area. Plus we have this big 30% area where you could see baseball size hail, everyone. So here's your cities and states at risk for the hail threat as we go through Friday. National Weather Service has it as a regional outbreak of severe storms is expected across much of the Mississippi Valley eastward to lower Ohio and Tennessee valleys late Friday afternoon into Saturday morning. Widespread damage and winds, some greater than 65 knots, that's 74 miles per hour. Several tornadoes, some of them strong, that's EF2 or stronger, and large hail will all be possible. And then as you go Friday night into Saturday, here's your next risk. You see a big 45% area, plus your significant severe and all this black hatched area. That's chances for EF2 or stronger tornadoes, plus very strong winds, at least 74 miles per hour wind gusts or greater. So here's your cities and states at risk for the severe weather as you go through Saturday as well. National Weather Service has a severe weather outbreak is expected on Saturday from the central Gulf Coast states deep south into the Ohio Valley. Significant tornadoes focus around the south. Swaths of damaging gusts and hail are expected. Now you can see the update just like last night. The football kicking comes in all morning long, all the way to the early morning hours for the south central, 50 and 60 miles per hour wind gusts. But as it goes through the afternoon and you get that Bowen feature coming through, then you have the big 50 miles per hour wind gusts pushing behind it, even 60 getting in there. As you go through the afternoon all night long, you still have a nasty line of storms, a big Bowen feature bringing you the chances of the 50 and the 60 miles per hour wind gusts behind that, pushing that as you go through the night, also through the morning, as this carries all the way towards Wisconsin, all the way into Illinois. But look at the wraparound of that storm intensifying, bringing your snow, bringing a little bit of the freezing rain, but also bringing some strong winds on the wraparound of some 50, 60, even up to 70 miles per hour wind gusts as that storm system builds as we go through Friday night. I believe the winds will be a big outlook over here for the upper Midwest. And you can see those cells that form right in front of this line as it goes by early into the morning brings 50 miles per hour wind gusts with those cells as well, which could easily spin up a tornado. Now you need to be aware of this. Those cells that I showed you in front of this Bowen feature bringing these strong winds, if any of these form up in front of this line with the very strong winds, it will form up into a potential strong tornado, everyone. And when we look at the whole picture of the damage and winds, it's starting to look more like what the GFS is seeing, everybody. You can see right here the big pile of 50 and 60 miles per hour wind gusts coming behind that Bowen line feature. It will continue more. And you can see this big feature up here for the upper Midwest of 50 and 60 miles per hour wind gusts. Now, when you go through the Euro, it's not showing that feature, but GFS has something there to where it is picking up on this. And remember, GFS is picking up on this storm system, bringing more winds further towards the east. It has mild down a little bit, but also still showing we could still get that low pressure over here as it builds up and goes towards the Great Lakes. Not really deep down here like it showed before, but just like last night, it could build one up late and pull away and bring the winds a little bit stronger than like what we're seeing with the GFS. Matter of fact, even Euro is starting to see a low pressure that could form up for just a couple hours, just enough to bring more intensity into these storms and more winds. So as we go through the afternoon with the big Bowen line feature, bringing the 50 and 60 miles per hour wind gusts, as you go by early in the morning, this is where you're going to get winds on the wraparound for the upper Midwest, bringing y'all the 50 and 60 miles per hour wind gusts, also with some snow, so you definitely got to watch out for the blizzards. But look at all these discrete cells that is popping up now in front of that line. So now you're getting the discrete cells popping up in front of it, and this is what you need to watch out for a chance for strong tornadoes before we go into the Saturday morning event and the storms start all over again in the south. And this is where these storms are still going to flurry all morning long, all the way into the afternoon for Saturday. And look at there. Now we get another surface low. It don't last long. It only lasts for 3 hours, but it's enough to intensify a little bit more of what's going towards Indiana and Ohio as we go into Saturday evening, plus what's pulling down here in the south. So this will keep your threat going for Saturday all the way until Sunday morning, all the way towards the East Coast. Sunday is going to be a weaker event, but we still have storms over here for the northeast and interior that will bring some winds as well. And we have storms coming across the southeast that's still bringing a hail threat and a tornado threat as that comes through for Sunday. So Sunday still has its own risk, but it's not going to be anything like we have for Friday or Saturday. But still, you do have the threat for Sunday. So far, here's your cities and states at risk for the severe weather for Sunday. Now you can see what HRRR is still bringing feet of snow to the western U.S., especially for the higher elevations of Washington, Oregon, and California getting the biggest winter. But you can see with the Euro, as you go a little bit further, it is bringing that swath of 3 to 5, 3 to 6 inches, maybe a little bit more for eastern Dakotas, also for western Minnesota. This is where you're getting strong winds as well for the Dakotas. Keep that in mind. And we still have that storm coming for next week as we go Wednesday into Thursday, bringing more heavy snowfall, everybody. Plus, don't forget your fire threat for today. You do have the elevated and the orange, but you have the critical and the red. So far, here's your cities and states at risk for the fire threat for today. It don't have Kansas or Nebraska, but obviously you see you're in the threat. For tomorrow, this is going to be the worst day is for tomorrow. This is where it grows not only with the critical, but now you have the extreme risk for fires going from Texas and Oklahoma going into Kansas. So here's your cities and states at risk for the fire threat as you go through Friday. Please pay attention to this. This will be serious. You have very strong winds coming through. So please be aware of these storms. Please take these storms seriously. This is not going to bust in any way. If anything, it will strengthen more. And keep a lookout for that high risk in the south. I believe that will grow as well. Now, we'll see you this afternoon for the latest updates. So make sure you click the bell. That way you get notified of that, everyone. Before we go, I want to do a quick prayer for protection for everyone that can hear me. Psalm 91 is what comes to mind when I think of that 1 through 6. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God. In Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. Amen. I pray that God keeps every single one of y'all safe. Please be a great neighbor. Check on your neighbors. Please let them know what is coming around the corner. And while you're outside, check on your yard. Make sure no branches need to be cut down. Make sure nothing needs to be picked up because you're going to get a lot of strong winds pushing through. And the strong winds is what's going to be the big inhibitor of what could bring a tornado for some people. So please pay attention to the winds. Please check on your neighbors. I cannot say that enough. If I was in that risk, I would hope that one of y'all would come check on me if I wasn't keeping up with what's going on. Thank you so much for your time. And remember, all glory does go to God, our Father in heaven, Yahweh. And I always hope He keeps you safe every single day of your life, especially through this event and forever. Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. Have a great day, everybody. Please get ready for this storm. They will bring a lot of power outages with all of these winds in the least.